Hello and welcome to another audio analysis. In today's video we take a look at the track Wenn die Stunde Schlägt by the German rock band OOMPH. This is the first single to release from their upcoming 14th studio album titled Richter under Henker, which stands for Judge and Executioner, and does release on September 8th. And it's certainly an interesting album because it's the first feature we do get from new lead vocalist Schulz, and he's actually replacing Daryl Goy, who's been with the band since 1989. However, over COVID, he kind of decided to make a bit of a change in his life and decided he could no longer contribute to the music the band have been making over the past 30 odd years. However, Crap and Flux have remained, so their instrumental side hasn't really changed, but I'm really curious to see how they're going to fit in a new lead vocalist, how that will affect their music, and how it will kind of see the comparisons between Schulz and Daryl Goy. The title of the track does actually translate to For Whom the Bell Tolls, as it is heavily inspired by the ideas of Ernest Hemingway's novel, really in the writing style, and that's what they wanted to go for with this song. So will this track ring out or simply fall silent? Let's take a look at exactly how it sounds. Okay, I'm loving this vocal style we're getting from Schulz. I like these deep tones. I like how it's not too much of a move away from the band's sound. It isn't sounding as twisted and sadistic almost as Daryl Goy was with a lot of their previous music, but I like how they've not tried to carbon copy what they are known for. They are bringing this new lead singer in with a bit of a change, letting him do his own thing, whilst Crap and Flux really just continue to provide very strong melodic elements, and I like we're getting this faster pace as opposed to something more theatrical and operatic that we did see on Ritual. And with this song, it really feels like it's touching on the idea of not giving up, kind of getting to that point where you have a difficult situation but you're continuing through that. They greet you but you don't die, the defamed, the harassed. These people are really held back almost, and this idea of being held back by thoughts and limitations and really just trying to not give up when Judgment Day does arrive. This idea of this bell tolling when the hour strikes. I like how they're touching on these ideas because it's something you often see about, very medieval, very past, very historic, the idea of things happening on the hour, executions, things like that. So you can really see this darker element that's being brought in through this track. Only when nothing works anymore will it be over, said dead but still standing. So we're really just seeing this idea of fighting on. When you're in hell, you're still alive almost, you're still continuing to fight on to really rise up and not be held back. So they're really reflecting that very cleverly through the lyrics.
Kriechen, dahin
really am enjoying the development we're getting throughout this track. I like how they're giving Der Schulz the room to breathe. They're building the music around him. We've got this really strong melodic element coming in from the drums, and they're really just kind of putting him higher in the mix to really let him get comfortable and really show himself with this song. Krappenflux do a great job of really supporting him with this, and we can see this development continuing throughout the track. This idea of being held back, almost being suppressed, almost kind of the idea of innocent, guilty until proven innocent. The idea of the dark hours, the old wounds, the evil tongues that found nothing. So again, just this idea that you're kind of instantly accused of doing something, trying to hold you back, trying to hold you down. So a lot of the lyrics are really doing this very well. This idea of not being held back when the hour strikes, when you're in a bad situation, know your time to really push yourself forward, to escape from it. And the idea of the hour striking, I love how it fits in with a lot of the themes that we're seeing with this old style music video, and also the idea of that is effectively when judgment happens on the hour. The idea of executions, things like that, even in like the French Revolution, things like that. The idea of hangings as well. A lot of these ideas were really built on the hour. Even there's a lot of salutes, things like that. So you can really see how they're reflecting that into the idea of this track.
Sollte bereit sein, erst wenn nichts mehr geht, wird es vorbei sein. Tot gesagt, doch stehen noch. Verdammt, wir leben immer noch.
And I love how we've got this instrumental break, just letting Krappenflux come to the forefront, get a bit of time in the spotlight to still show exactly what they are capable of. And I love how we move into this bridge and this chorus, kind of refrained chorus. We do get this sort of breakdown in these softer tones before the instrumental break does come in. And even in the bridge, as long as your heart is still beating, you can also be free. So really just showing that idea of until your heart physically stops, you have the ability to rise up, to continue to challenge, to continue to push forward. Time flies, the world still turns. As long as hope lives, nothing will be over. So this bridge really pushing that idea, the idea of the world is still spinning, it continues to revolve until effectively you are dead. So you still get these options, these abilities to make changes in your life. You're never really being held back, so you shouldn't let yourself be held back. So I like how every single lyric is really touching on this idea, but I love how it's doing it through the idea of judge and executioner, because sometimes you are your own judge and executioner. You are the one that holds yourself back. You judge yourself guilty, or you feel bad for things that you do, and you kind of limit yourself. You are almost executing your ability to do things because you let yourself be held back. So I like how it's touching on some of these ideas very cleverly, and again reflecting on the band as well in their ability to move forward with a brand new lead singer and show it very effectively. Yes, I loved how we still had some of the many things that we do typically see from the band. Certainly the electronic elements really scattered underneath the track, as well as some of these kind of ticking time sound effects that we did have as well that were really hard to pick out on. But this idea of the clock striking midnight, things like that really fit in very, very well. And I like how the video did something that they've done in previous works as well. They're often almost the observer, the witness. They are effectively the judge and the kind of the host of the story almost. We've seen them do it on things like like Tram Stew, previous tracks like that, where they kind of have this observational role to the story that's being told. They're almost like the narrator effectively in a sense. So I like how they've still kept with that theme. Musically, still a very strong track coming in, really just having this more melodic, powerful energy that really just gets you involved, really drags you along for the ride. And I am really impressed by Der Schulz. He's fit in very well to this track, really bringing a powerful voice, not trying to mimic Daryl Goyer and the work that he did previously with the band. And after 32, 33 years, it's such a difficult thing to do, to make that switch up, but I think he's certainly done it very admirably, and I can't wait to hear more from the band going forward. So that'll be everything for today's video, but as always, feel free to let me know your thoughts about this track in the comments section below. I'd be certainly interested if you've heard this band before, what your thoughts are on Der Schulz taking over from Daryl Goy, whether you kind of accept this change that they've made, are you really looking forward to what the band are going to produce going forward? I would love to know your thoughts. And as always, if you'd like to see more content like this, then please do feel free to subscribe, and I will see you in the next Dojo Analysis.